The University of Detroit Mercy presents another brand new episode of Ask the Professor, the radio show on which you match wits with University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. Today's program was recorded using Zoom video conferencing technology.
The University Tower chimes, bringing another session of Ask the Professor, the show on which you match wits with the University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. I'm your host, Matt Maggio, and let me introduce to you our panel for today. There's a hook involved. I don't think it's a Candyman reference. It's Professor Jim Tubbs.
Hello.
I love how you kind of brandished it when I mentioned your name.
Jim, is that from when we took pictures down at the yacht club?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
And I just remembered I had it when we were discussing before, so I thought it would add to the shoot.
We were having a very hearty discussion about pirates.
Parties.
Pirate parties. Yes, exactly. That is pretty much, you were saying a few minutes ago, Jim, about how someone said something to you that made your day. You can pretty much slam dunk that made my day. That's all I got to say. That was awesome. In a decidedly less pirated scenario, we are being joined today by Professor Stephen Manning. Afternoon. I hear the cicadas chirping wildly as summer wanes down in Michigan.
Yep.
Ugh, God, I hate those things.
It's a little bit more. Then they disappear for 17 years. That's
Right.
always amazing.
They are really, really dumb. And I, for whatever reason, did not learn that until this last year, probably because of the Brood X PR that was going on. Man, they just fly into stuff like they have no idea what they're doing.
So not all the cicadas are on the same 17-year cycle. Next year we'll see other cicadas, right? So,
right.
All right.
No, I don't know if that's true. I think it is every 17 years.
It is, except for there is more than 17 broods. So we do get them every year. It's just that they go to sleep for 17 years or whatever.
Now I feel like a dumb cicada.
No.
You don't look like a dumb cicada.
So it's like the monster in Jeepers Creepers. Is that?
Oh, good
Yeah.
call.
That is a very scary movie, by the way. Thank you for bringing that up. And I'll let you know tonight at 3 o'clock in the morning how
you couldn't sleep, right?
impacted. Yeah, I hate that movie.
gosh.
It's very scary and creepy.
Very so Candy. The original Candyman was also very scary.
Oh,
Yes. So I'm going to go on a limb and introduce Professor Dan Maggio as not a fan, specifically maybe of just modern horror or what?
I don't mind horror movies, but there's some movies that just scare the heck out of me. And Jeepers Creepers is one of those movies. And also It.
Oh yeah.
That, which is another one. Anyway,
Don't go there, Dan.
I've done it to myself.
Yeah, I know.
So-
You're not going to sleep till 5 now.
One of my top 10 books of all time,
It.
easily.
There you go. Read something the other day that said as a result of the I don't know what you want to call it, not the reboot, but the more recent It movies and all of that mid 20-teens creepy clown prank stuff, that McDonald's basically has very, very quietly retired Ronald McDonald. And I'm reading this in the newspaper.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, and I go out for the Dream Cruise, and there is a person dressed as Ronald McDonald sitting on the back of a convertible waving at everybody. I'm like, he's back.
No.
Continuing around the horn here, Professor Heather Hill has joined us.
Hello.
What's going on, Heather?
Oh, I don't know. Everything and nothing.
What do you think will be your teaching joy this semester? What class do you have that's a ton of fun?
I think the medieval lit's going to be fun. Yeah, we're doing some contemporary connections kinds of things, kind of like my book project. So,
Nice.
I have 17 students in the class, which is more than I've had in several years. So
That's great.
That's a nice number.
yeah, and they all seem pretty into it so far. So
Very cool.
So
I'm happy.
that I think will be fun.
Gonna
Cool.
act out the Canterbury Tales for you?
Pardon?
Are they going to act out the Canterbury Tales for you?
I don't think so. I'll see. Would you join in?
Oh, I'd watch.
That's not joining in. Maybe
He's got a hook.
maybe if you bring your hook.
Maybe
could-
so.
Yeah.
Professor Beth Oljar, what part of your courses are you looking forward to the students acting out before the end of the term?
Or acting out.
None of them?
Not really.
Plato's Republic.
Yeah, if they could act the allegory of the cave, that would be interesting. But mostly I'm just hoping they can understand what it's about.
That's a good start. Let's
Students
start with
giving
the
proofs. I'm happy about that.
right,
If
exactly.
I could spend the rest of my career teaching symbolic logic, I'd be pretty blissful.
That does sound like a lot of fun. I know all the students I advise that go into those that course in particular, they really enjoy it. It scratches that technical itch they have for things being true and not true, you know.
And the grading is much easier compared to papers.
I hear that. Professor Dave Chow is here.
Pleasure to be here, as always.
Excellent. What's shaking, Dave?
Nothing much. Just another day in paradise. Just working away.
Are you allowed to give us a peek behind the curtain of your latest project?
I got 2 more Super Bowl commercials coming out. So,
wow.
But that also put like 60 hours, of being wide awake for the last couple of days on my body. So
Do any of them have a baby with graphics all over its face?
not this time. Not this time. It was more Cadillac stuff. That's all.
Oh, cool.
So
We'll
I
be
get
looking
to see
for it.
the brand new Cadillac, which they're only making 400 of.
Huh.
Really?
Which is interesting. It's like
Collector's item.
400 of this new Cadillac. I think there's a lottery system for it. So you could be and part of one of the commercials, I'm sure if I were talking about it now, it's like not everyone can get one. It's pretty much what the concept is. That's all. I'll say that much.
That's
so
cool.
You can have all the money in the world, but you won't necessarily get the car. So
we'll have to remind.
Working on the project.
I'm sorry.
Are you going to get one of them for working?
I wish. That's one thing I've always wished that for my clients. I've always wished I could trade off services.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are these going to cost?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say a great deal of
Half
money.
I think so.
$500,000.
Probably.
Thanks for the specificity, Matt.
Well, there's a chip shortage, so if you order a new laptop through IT, it's going to take a few weeks. What can I
And it might be steam powered. So
we're also being joined by a special guest panelist this week. Professor Sigrid Streit is here from the Department of English. Thanks for joining us, Sigrid.
Sure, glad to be here.
What will be your course that you're looking forward to going to every day this semester?
I'm teaching 2 sections of technical writing.
Ooh.
Technical writing. That's awesome.
It's fun. It's surprisingly fun. I really enjoy it. A lot of people dread it in my department. They tell me I'm insane.
Hey, if you love teaching any composition, I think that's awesome.
I totally
Doing
agree.
the work of the angels for sure.
Not so sure about that, but I'll take it.
We'll keep sending our good science students to your courses, Sigrid, and every once in a while we might have to send you a not so good science student too.
Oh, I'll take them all. I'll take them all.
Hey folks, this is a program where you can send us questions regarding anything. You stump the panel, you win a prize. You don't stump the panel, you win a prize. You can send us the questions in a number of ways. You can email us at atp@udmercy.edu. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, or listen on your favorite smart speaker by asking it to play Ask the Professor at University of Detroit Mercy. And away we go. Dear ATP panelists, it's been nearly 10 months since I last penned some questions for the show. Shame on me. Below are 20 questions on all sorts of things you've said that the panelists enjoy. Thanks again for your diligence to keeping all of us entertained in these very odd times. With deep appreciation, our good friend Amber Hubley. Amber has sent us questions for a number of years now, and we are very, very thankful for her sending those in. Let's see what we got.
Thank you, Amber.
Thanks,
Send
Amber.
more. Yeah.
Can you remind us where Amber's from?
You know, it doesn't say here, and I'm usually better at memorizing that sort of stuff. So I apologize, Amber. You've sent us questions for a great long time, but sometimes you just reach that like Cher and Sting level. It's just one name. That's all that anybody needs to know.
Dan, if we were in the studio, we'd be looking up at the map right about now, looking for a pin.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember people more, I think, from where they're from than their names sometimes.
Do you
I
really?
remember-
Just on this show.
I know Frank Burrows from what, Valencia,
Valencia,
and,
California,
and
yeah.
then the others are like Redmond or somewhere in the Washington area. I know that, so seems like that.
Okay, our first question. We are supposed to list the following gymnasts, tallest to shortest: Retton, Comaneci, Strug, Corbett.
Okay.
Oh my
Comaneci-
gosh.
Tallest to
Comaneci-
shortest. I'll start with Corbett.
Corbett's the. I was going to say.
Comaneci would be the tallest, or Corbett, one of the two of them.
I would say
And
Carrie is the
Strug
shortest.
Yeah, Carrie Strug's the
Carrie's
shortest.
the shortest.
And probably Mary Lou after that, from short up.
Basically you got it correct. I'm not going to ask you the specific heights, but Nadia Comaneci was exactly 5 feet tall. Olga Corbett was 1 inch shorter. Mary Lou Retton was 4'9", and Carrie Strug was a downright minuscule 4'7".
Good Lord.
7.
I remember watching them all compete.
Yep, me too.
Oh my
How
God.
tall is
absolutely.
Simone Biles?
That's a really good question, because you feel that like that would be the follow-up here, but there's
kidding.
we need to get Dan into
Yeah, that's-
Wikipedia here to figure it out.
That's so microscopic. I mean, what's the what's the height
Jeez.
definition for being a small
4'8".
person?
She was 4'8", so she's in
4'8".
between Mary Lou
Wow.
Retton and Carrie Strug. She's pretty short.
Although, and speaking of actually Germany, they really did something quite impressive at the Olympics. The women's gymnastic team from Germany refused to compete in those swimsuit cut leotards.
Ooh.
They wore unitards instead to sort of
Mhm.
protest the basically the objectification
Right.
of women and the sort of sexualization of the sport, as opposed to emphasizing it's
And
athletic.
several of the women's volleyball teams did that.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say one of
Yay.
the images from this Olympics is kind of burned in my mind is they were taking a team picture of men's beach volleyball and women's beach
Mhm.
volleyball. And the men were literally in blazers and pants and the women were in the bikinis. And I'm like, this is so wrong. Like, this has to be a parody. You know what I mean? Oh, anyway.
The contrast.
Why do they require that they wear that in the first place? Why don't they just allow the participants to wear whatever they're comfortable with?
That's a good question.
Or why not go to like a Nike and say, hey, design some functional clothing for these athletes?
Yeah.
Let function follow form. I mean,
It's a great point, Dave. And there was a news story at our last Olympics, which of course was 5 years ago, where we had the first almost finalist who was basically swimming in hijab, and they went and they made a new swimsuit for her so that she could honor her country's traditions and still compete. I'm like, seriously.
Cool.
now I know they also had issues because I remember years ago when, good Lord, this goes all the way back to Michael Phelps, when the men were thinking about wearing, the complete unitard, but they actually came up with a material that's actually slipperier than skin.
Right.
So there's a certain point, does technology overtake human form? But, in regards to like track and field and gymnastics, it doesn't. So
I think there's a debate coming with Professor Manning about whether we should just fire all the umps and hire an ump bot and call balls and strikes like they see it.
Yeah, I read the other article about the robots.
The robots are coming. You cannot stop it.
Yep. No.
Well, that's
I know.
good to know.
As Jim scratches his head with his hook, sports is a good segue. What sports team plays in First Energy Stadium? I'll give you a hint. It's in the NFL.
Is that in Texas?
It is not.
Oh, First Energy.
Is that Philadelphia?
Cincinnati.
Dolphins.
First.
The two colors of this team, which is quite a combo, the major colors are orange and brown.
Cleveland.
Oh,
Cleveland
Cleveland
Browns.
Browns.
Good.
It's the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Mhm.
First Energy. Huh? Okay.
Good movie about them called Draft Day, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Decent movie, even if you don't really care about football or understand the draft,
Mm-hmm.
as I don't.
Kevin Costner was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Professors, who was the author that coined the terms?
main guy? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Which author coined the terms unperson, newspeak, thought crime?
Orwell.
Orwell, yeah.
Orwell. Yes, that was George Orwell.
1984.
Mm-hmm. And completely unrelated, what state in the Union has the highest rate of cremation?
California.
Oregon?
California after the wildfires?
Hawaii?
It feels like it would be, but
Louisiana.
I'm looking in a Heather and Beth direction here.
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, it's Washington State is what it says here. Is the highest rate of cremation in the United States. No other background information, I'm afraid, but
there a number
interesting.
per 1,000?
Well,
Yeah,
they also offer biodegradable burials.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be it. It's a kind of an echo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, ecological.
The Jay Inslee thing.
Yeah.
Into Rainier you go. So,
Which U.S. airport is code lettered M as in Matt? MCI.
Oh.
is that-
Emmy.
That's
Not
Let's see.
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
No,
Miami? No, not Miami.
Baltimore. No.
So something international.
Oh, it's not Midway. Oh, I've flown into this airport.
Berlin.
MCI.
Come on, Dan, work it out.
Is it in the United States or
yes,
is it?
it is.
It is. It's very close to the center of the United
Kansas
States.
City.
It's Kansas City, Missouri. Yes,
Yeah.
Kansas City, Missouri.
So what's the MC stand for?
MC Hammer.
Oh, okay,
Come on,
that makes
Dave.
sense.
Master of ceremonies.
Motor City. Oh,
Exactly. Ooh, my. It's been a while. I remember we had one probably was like 100 years ago, but remember we had our big question set on diner lingo, like old school diner lingo?
Yeah.
What does it mean when someone orders a dish in the Pittsburgh style?
With cream cheese? No, that's
no. Isn't that burnt on the edges or something like that?
You're really close, Dave. I'm like loving it right now.
Was it like charred on the edges and crud?
It means charred on the outside, raw on the inside. Is what it
Ooh,
means.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only Jason were here to tell us why people from Pittsburgh would ever think
It's the black and yellow thing. That's all.
yes, black and yellow.
I'm sorry, black and gold.
Yep.
Yeah, Jason would have
Sounds
my
like
head on a
that.
stick. So
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
like Dad's hamburgers.
What do, oh my, have three more different people ever been brought together in a question? Waylon Jennings, Courtney Cox, and ex-Detroit Tigers catcher Lance Parrish all have in common?
they've never been in Dan Maggio's kitchen.
Are they all
True.
from this? Were they all born in the same place?
You got it, Heather. Actually, they were all born on the same day.
Oh,
They were all born on June 15th, although quite a distance apart from each other. Yes.
is Waylon Jennings still with us?
That's a good
I
question.
don't think so.
Because I vaguely wasn't he the narrator for the Dukes of Hazzard show?
That's right.
If I remember right. Don't ask me why I remember that.
By the way, our crack team of researchers have reminded me that Amber hails from San Diego. So
Right.
thanks
Oh, great.
again for sending these in, Amber. Okay. There is only one place in southeastern Michigan you would find the address 99 Pleasure Drive. Where is that?
Jim Tubbs' house. Oh,
With the hook. 99 Pleasure Drive.
Pleasant Ridge.
no.
Is that Boblo Island? No,
You're getting warm.
Belle Isle.
that's not hot though.
Yeah, it's
Belle-
Belle Isle.
Oh, it's Belle Isle.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Is it, there-
Really?
is it the amusement park, the old amusement park?
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure where
by,
it
by the
is.
slide. By the big slide? I mean,
It's
that's.
by the aquarium. I don't know.
I like my answer better. It makes more sense.
Well, I knew it wasn't Zug Island.
Okay,
so
Matt
I mean,
will change the official answer.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh my gosh. What Major League Baseball pitcher-catcher combination started the most games together with 324? Holy smokes.
oh, that's he just passed away recently. Lolich and Freehand.
You got it right on top.
That
Mickey
wasn't one of the
Lolich
things. Yeah.
was the pitcher, and Bill Freehan, 324 games played together. Gotta tell this story. It was going to come up sooner or later. My in-laws in particular are not that big into baseball. They're more straight up, football folks. But I've noticed after 25 years of being married to my wife that my mother-in-law has a real sweet spot for Bill Freehan. So he passes away recently, and I text her, the crying emoji and a little tiger and a baseball. And the next time I saw her, I said, you never really filled that out. I thought maybe her dad, she was close to her dad, and her dad was into the Tigers and he was her favorite or whatever. She looks me dead in the eye. She goes, Matt, he went to Shrine. I went to grade school with him. Like, I knew him.
Oh,
And I'm like,
that's pretty cool.
I never made the connection. He grew up around here and went to grade school, and then his parents moved to Florida when he went to high school and got really good. So getting drafted by the Tigers was a really big deal because he was from around here.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, and Detroit was the only team he ever played for, if I remember.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I'm gonna just say it out loud so that I get blamed if anything goes wrong. Don't worry, Michael, I'm not gonna swear. But it's a classic example of the social pressures of physiological and mental health, because Mr. Freehan was diagnosed fairly young with dementia. He was easily a Hall of Famer, easily. But the fact that they would have had to put a man in that state on the podium was not something Major League Baseball wanted to do, which is really sad if you think about it.
Yeah, because didn't he also end up coaching U of M baseball
Something
for the
like
longest
that.
time? Yeah, and then I think that the dementia really got to him, and he had to just back off, which was sad.
Yeah.
So
That's a stupid.
His
rule.
obituary said he went off to college to study something before they discovered he was a great baseball player. I forget what it was, like
That's right.
physics or engineering or something. And then he got linked to baseball, and the rest, as they say, is history.
That's right.
and they always say, the catcher is probably one of the brightest people, if you want to quantify that somehow, as far as understanding the game.
That's right. That's exactly right. He could have been a manager, maybe, won a few more World Series. Who knows?
Well,
But,
look at how many managers are catchers. I mean, Brad Osmus, Jim Leland,
That's right.
AJ Hinch.
Mhm.
We've all seen Bull Durham. We know
Yep.
the importance of the catcher.
Mm-hmm. How about this one? Which is older? And every red-blooded Detroiter really needs to know the answer to this question. Which is older, the Stanley Cup or the NHL?
Stanley Cup.
Mhm. By how many years?
Ooh. I think the Stanley Cup I think that was offered in like the 1800s, and NHL wasn't like till 1920 or something like that.
That's basically it. Yeah, the Stanley Cup's about 24 years older than the NHL, which was
Somebody had to drive,
17. Yep.
So
I
what
mean-
was it used for before it became the Stanley Cup for the NHL?
It was still a trophy.
For another sport, or
No, it's still for hockey. It's still for the best hockey in all of Canada.
Mhm.
oh, I see. Okay,
They adopted it to the NHL.
And the beer stein.
Yeah, that too. And that poor thing has been dinged and dented so bad this summer, it's not even funny. They've dropped that thing so many times. Oh dear Lord, the silversmiths are gonna have a time. So
After playing in Antarctica in 2013, what musical group has now played all 7 continents?
You too,
You too.
That's a good guess, but that's not it.
but wrong.
Pearl Jam.
No, I would say from my youth, they were viewed as pretty heavy rock. They seem kind of tame when you compare them to more modern stuff now.
Rolling Stones.
oh,
so I'm guessing it's
oh
not
like the
ABBA.
like,
I was gonna say ABBA.
hey, they got a new song that just broke. So I mean, don't laugh.
Some of us really like ABBA.
Yeah.
What if I
not-
said
I was just gonna say ABBA. I think it's cool that Dan was gonna say ABBA, and he did.
So rock in the 90s.
Well, and
That's-
frankly, obviously, they're still going today. I mean, it would go back a little bit to the 80s.
So is it kind of soft? Is it kind of like light rock, or is it like headbanging rock?
It's
This-
heavy metal. So I would say
Heavy metal,
Sing a song.
Metallica.
Metallica?
Van
That's
Halen?
Metallica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Metallica. I was gonna say Enter Sandman is my
Okay.
Okay.
my
That wouldn't
clue,
have helped
but
me at all. But
That
thank
would
Took
have
him-
helped me. But
took him to 2013 to play Antarctica, and now everybody wants to
Now
go
I
there.
can only imagine the gate receipts for that show. I mean, it's like, does anybody want to buy like a Metallica parka or something like that? I mean,
Speaking of interesting culture,
don't lie on me.
what percentage of the world's lawyers live in the United States?
98.
67.
I'm giving it to you. It's 70%.
It's a
70%
die.
of the world's
That's
lawyers
really
live in the
close.
United States.
You don't.
They all have a commercial on TV.
Dan, this is why we need to join the pirate party.
Incredible. And all I
Yep.
can think about is the lawyer from Arrested Development whose name was Bob Loblaw, but they said his name real fast all the time. So they said blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
So great. Played by, oh my gosh, who was Chachi on Happy Days?
Scott Baio?
Scott
Scott
Baio?
Baio, played by
Baio.
Scott Baio. Yeah,
Oh.
that's right.
Oh man.
The one Bob
Unbelievable.
Odenkirk plays on,
Better Call Saul.
yeah.
How many individual peanuts does it take to make a standard 12-ounce jar of creamy peanut butter?
Ooh.
400.
A lot.
Let's say 1,200.
Stephen is way closer. Way closer.
Really?
Okay. I was going to go
350.
thousands, but
It says
350.
540 individual peanuts. And here's the kicker. This is just mind-blowing. So that was creamy. Do you think that crunchy is higher or lower?
Higher.
Or-
yeah, higher.
It says here
It's
Lower.
it's exactly the same.
Oh,
Really?
Ooh.
Really?
look at that.
I need
Oh.
trivia like that in my life.
Oh, they probably just don't whip it as much. Or
Probably.
They're not all smushed, right?
Yeah, they just took the creamy and added.
okay.
little
So
bits
who
of peanut.
They
likes-
swept the floor.
who likes creamy better than crunchy, and who likes crunchy better than creamy?
I'm crunchy all the way.
Crunchy all the way.
Slightly crunchy.
Crunchy.
I eat peanut butter all the time. So
Yeah. I'm
Either
a
one
creamy
is good.
person.
I'd be
Creamy.
smooth if I actually liked peanut butter.
All right. So you guys, okay. So crunchy wins.
I had a recipe once that called for, was adamant. Creamy, do not use anything other than creamy. So I bought a small jar of creamy. That's the only time I ever used it.
Oh, and for
I-
catching
I
mice.
found it, it made its way to the back of the cupboard over the 3 or 4 years until I finally pitched it. It's the only
it does
thing I-
work well for mics, by the way.
Yeah. And Heather, just FYI, back in the day, I remember growing up seeing restaurants that my parents worked in. If you want to add peanuts to egg rolls, you bought peanut butter because it's cheaper than buying raw peanuts.
Wow.
Hmm.
So I remember seeing Chinese restaurants stocked with like, what are they doing with the orange marmalade and crunchy peanut butter?
I mean,
So
I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but I'm reading a biography of Jimmy Carter. Oh yeah, the
Hmm.
peanut guy, the Georgia guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Professors,
that's why you're thinking of it.
or
You're
Chinese
thinking
food, Stephen.
funny.
I'm
Oh.
aware, Heather.
reportedly, purportedly, who is the most popular singer in all of Kenya? Your hint is he's an American solo artist.
Barry Manilow.
Neil Diamond.
Johnny Mathis or Johnny
You
Mattress.
immediately go into a place that is so not far off from the real answer.
What?
David Hasselhoff.
They're close.
Well, that's was the Germans.
Yeah.
How about if I
No,
said?
actually.
Belafonte.
How about if I said the gambler?
Oh,
Kenny
Kenny
Rogers?
Rogers.
Kenny
Wow.
Rogers.
wow.
Wait a minute, now who's doing the purporting or reporting on this?
They must only have one
apparently
album.
Amber.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do a palate cleanser real quick.
Oh,
I find this fascinating. According to behavioral scientists, humans are born with two innate fears of instinct, all others are learned. That's fascinating to me. What are those 2 innate fears for
Filling
humans?
out the financial aid form.
Height and spiders.
Government.
Pain.
Height.
Yeah, height and spiders.
I'm sorry, that's
Fire?
not correct, but you guys all just
How
like
about
rattle 'em
animals
off.
with big pointy teeth?
Well,
Clowns.
Creepers,
Clowns.
Jeepers, creepers, or something.
That's it. Clowns in the government.
Innate.
That's my answer.
Dan, there's no
Who's
difference.
peanut butter.
Okay, so
Fire.
let's narrow this down a little bit here.
Fire.
Watered down martinis.
Oh, that's sacrilege.
One of them is the most reported thing that happens at the very, very end of a nightmare.
Bedwetting? Oh,
Wedding.
Falling?
Oh,
The end of a
falling.
night.
Falling. Sigrid got it. It's falling.
Oh.
Like falling into a
Oh.
hole or falling a great distance.
oh.
The other one probably makes more sense when you think about little children. It's loud noises. Loud noises is a fear, which fits into almost everything that was mentioned, right? Like, predators and, stuff like that. But,
Spiders and clowns and
I could have
politicians.
sworn liver would be one of them.
last but most certainly not least, so we can round out this great set of questions from Amber, who is the longest serving team captain in all of the history of Major League American sport?
Stevie Eiserman.
Absolutely correct.
Oh, you're way to
1,000.
go.
303
complete
games
guess.
over 20 years.
Wow.
Over 1,300 games.
Dan.
That's incredible.
Dan.
Right off the top of his head. That was awesome.
He gets a gold star this week.
Professors, I'm so sorry. Our time has come to an end, and that means the time has come to say goodbye. Jim.
Goodbye.
Stephen.
Arr.
Oh, no.
Even-
Oh, Stephen froze.
Goodbye.
Even froze.
There he goes.
Oh.
Dan.
Goodbye.
Heather.
Bye-bye.
Beth.
Bye.
Dave.
See ya.
And Sigrid.
Bye.
And now these words from University of Detroit Mercy. Ask the Professor is transcribed at the facilities of the... No, it's not. It's transcribed across all of our homes and places of business, but we're usually housed in the Department of Communication Studies in the College of Liberal Arts and Education at University of Detroit Mercy's McNichols campus. Ask the Professor is produced and technically directed by Michael Jason and Brian Masonville, and our executive producer is Professor Jason Roach. Until next week, I'm your host, Matt Mayo.